start with Miami. They won the game. Very, very impressed with what I saw from them in many, many aspects of the game. The offensive line did a good job most of the night keeping Carson Beck upright and clean. Thought there were times when the run game felt like it was going. Statistically, the run game didn't look great, but if you look at how they kind of were able to establish the line of scrimmage, dent the line of scrimmage of Notre Dame's defensive line, there's a lot of positives in there, I think, with how they ran the football. But Carson Beck is the takeaway for sure. He looked so poised and comfortable and in control. Never felt like there was a moment in which he was rattled, and we know how good that defense is for Notre Dame, especially against the pass, how talented that secondary is. Said for a long time, I still think it's the most talented secondary coming into the season, and it certainly lived up to expectations at times, but my goodness, the amount of good decisions that were made by Carson Beck tonight was off the charts. There weren't a lot of big plays created, but he was patient. He took what the defense gave him. He found and located guys when it was man coverage from Notre Dame. He knew exactly where the man beaters were. He involved Malachi Toney throughout the game, finally to the point where Notre Dame had to abandon the original plan, take Leonard Moore, arguably the best corner in the country, and slide him inside to play against a true freshman there in the slot. It says a lot about the respect that Notre Dame was giving to that young, talented star. Very excited about what his career is going to look like. That kid's going to play a lot of football for a very long time. I look at the Miami defense and the improvements with Corey Heatherman coming over, being more multiple, mixing it up. You think when you watch them last year, how many yards they gave up, how often they were out of position, how often they busted plays, how often they missed tackles. It was constant, especially down the stretch. Last 5-6 games felt like they were constantly on their heels. There was not many moments tonight where you felt like they were. I look at how there was one bust, and it was a big bust. They gave up Eli Raridan down the left sideline, lost him in coverage, linebacker lost him, and it was a huge play and almost a catastrophic mistake, but that was the only one. Last year, you could count 3-4 times a game in which there was cheap yardage given up. They're also, I feel like they did a great job in the secondary tackling, much better than what it was at any point. There were better angles, they were more sound, and that defensive line feasted as the game went along. Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor completely took over the game in the final 2-minute drive. Those guys were fantastic. So very, very encouraged by what I saw from Miami. A lot of people are going to ask, are you surprised by how Miami played? And the answer is no. I had Miami in the playoff this year. I look at their personnel and how they stack up from a talent profile standpoint, and they can go with just about anybody. They have a veteran quarterback. They have a disruptive defensive line. They have an elite offensive line. They have a power run game that's difficult to contain and difficult for many teams to match up against. And I think they are, in many ways, improved at wide receiver from where they were a year ago, which is crazy to think just how good those wideouts were last year and how they might be better with the addition of some key freshmen and a couple of guys via the transfer portal. So I think Miami, not just are they a playoff contender, I think they could legitimately make a run and be a potential player for the national championship. I think that team has that type of ceiling.